So I've had a whole lot of listeners reach out to me through email and express their concerns about the election. People from all walks of life saying, Brando, what are we going to do next? Where do we go from here? And if I'm being brutally honest, I don't have all the answers. I think everyone is still trying to sort through it, and everyone's still trying to reflect and figure it out. But I want everyone to know that I am reading my emails. I'm swarmed with them. But I am going through and I'm trying to read all of them that I can, because I do want to hear all the different perspectives. I do want to hear all the takes on how we got here. I'm open to hearing people out and to having that conversation. But when people says to me, Brando, how are we going to move forward? What are we going to do? I stumbled across this clip from Eric Swalwell, and he's always on point, and he really just brings it all to reality and just brings the truth in this next clip. We can get through it, but listen to what Eric has to say here, and I'll get back with you.
Let's get loud and let's get going, because if a young woman in Florida, where a 6-week ban is now the law of the land, can get up today and find her way through, we can too. And if a soldier in a trench in eastern Ukraine who just saw their best ally walk away from them can keep fighting, we can too. And if a high school student who's going to go to school today in a country that's going to arm mass shooters to the teeth, and they're still going to get through it, we can too. It doesn't feel good to lose. It sucks. I hate it. I hate what this winner says about our country and the people who make it so great. But we have work to do. We've dealt with this guy before. He's a one-term president coming in. He's in serious cognitive decline. We're not helpless. We are privileged to be among those who can do something. And by the way, there's no time to mourn or grieve for too long, because the next play is going to happen pretty soon when he starts to nominate all of the cabinet officials who will implement Trump's Project 2025. And so we got to be loud. We have to get in front of all of the senators who are going to be voting on this and make our cases to them as to why people like Rick Grenell and Kash Patel and all these others in the rogues gallery cannot be in charge of our country, why our kids need vaccines, and we're not going to let RFK Jr. as the health secretary take them away. So there's a lot of plays coming down the field. And so we should, be upset, but let's put our helmets on, get back on the field and defend, the yardage between us and Project 2025 becoming the law of the land.
So that's the first clip that I've rolled since the election. And I just want to let you guys know I don't really have any intentions of rolling clips showing what kind of person Donald Trump is or showing what he said or done next. None of those things was a deal breaker for the other side, and I know you guys see through him, so I don't need to point it out to you anymore. I think what we do is when we find clips like that of Eric Swalwell and things that can move the conversation forward and things that can be uplifting, that's what we focus on. Because he's right. If our daughters can get up and face the future, we can too, and we have to have their backs. If soldiers in Ukraine have to get up and face what they're going through, we have to too, and we have to have their backs. If black people can get up and keep moving, we have to stand behind them and let them know that we're on their side. If our gay and trans friends can get up and keep moving, we have to let them know that we got their backs. We have to stick together and we have to unite more so than ever. I know I'm going to get repetitive saying some of these things, but we're going to have a leader that's not going to care about us, so we have to care about each other. And we can't let this idea that we can't let their loud, obnoxious victory celebration diminish what we stood for. And just because we lost this particular election does not mean we were wrong. The truth is still there. All the truth and Donald Trump's character and all the hatred that he has riled up, it's all still there. And it's all still wrong. And we all still have to stand against it. When I read the emails, and like I said, start this video, I've got so many of them and I'm trying to get to all of them and sort through them. I want to hear everybody out. One thing that I see so often, it's usually right in the top line of the message, I see this one so much, is people saying, Brando, I had better faith in this country. I thought we were a better people. And I get that sentiment. I feel it too. I say to myself, I thought we were better than this. But we cannot let hatred win. Marjorie Taylor Greene said we called her an extremist and the American people have spoken and that America is MTG. That's what she said. No, we're not MTG, and we never will be. That's not who we are as a people. And I really believe that a lot of people got so tired of all the chaos and so tired of all the infighting that they took their eye off the ball, and a lot of people stayed home. Had a lot of people vote third party again. There were so many things that factored into it. I think a lot of people just sort of was beat into submission by all of the bullshit, and that's a shame. But I'm not here to cast any blame and to point fingers. If we're going to bring people back in and help them understand why they have to vote, you know, you can't sit and blame the ones that didn't. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they didn't pay attention. But you can't say I've got this product and nobody bought it, so it's their fault. You know, you can't do that. So what you have to do is you just have to keep reminding people. And I think this is going to be the hardest part. And there's part of me that says I might find a little bit of satisfaction in it, but another part of me isn't. And that is there's going to be a whole lot of I told you so's going forward. We're going to be able to go back, if anything, and roll clips of our own selves saying, we told you this. And when they say that we didn't vote for this, yeah, this is what you voted for. This is exactly what you asked for. I've talked to people on the other side of the aisle that said, well, we just didn't feel the good economy. We didn't feel it. The grocery bill was high. Took the kids to McDonald's. I can't believe how much I spent. Okay, I get that. Pretty soon, you're going to be paying more. Then what's going to be the excuse? Pretty soon, you're going to be having a lot harder time getting health care. Then what's going to be the excuse? Pretty soon, your daughter could potentially need help and not going to be able to get it. Then what's going to be the excuse? You sit and say you have nothing against gay or trans people. You got nothing against the ones in your family that are, and they're coming to Thanksgiving, and you got nothing against them. You were just about policy. Well, what's going to happen when their world comes crashing down and you see it happen? I don't want to be the guy sitting here bringing those receipts going, I told you so, tried to warn you. But that's kind of what it's going to have to take. I really believe they're going to have to feel it, because they're people who they go off their emotions, and Donald Trump capitalized on that. They didn't go off reason and logic and science and facts and evidence. They went off of a dumpster fire of misinformation and their emotions, and Donald Trump played that to a T. So we have to stick to the truth, and we have to stick to our principles and what we stand for, and we have to keep moving forward regardless. Yeah, I've had a whole lot of rednecks flexing at me. Go right ahead and flex. Go right ahead and flex. Say you told me so. Say whatever you want to say for now. But before you know it, you're going to be in the same boat with all the people you've punched down at. And maybe then we can start to see things turn around. But I thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. We saw a drop when the election night happened. A lot of people threw their hands up and didn't want nothing to do with politics. And I'll be honest with you. I was to the point of saying, I don't know if I'll be able to make content the next day. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But I woke up that morning and I said, hell no. I got to dig in harder. I got to dig in harder than ever. And we saw an uptick, and we saw the subscribers come back. My Cheaper Egg song has went viral on a bunch of platforms. I'll be here as long as I have a platform to speak the truth and to try to write songs to take your mind off of it. And I appreciate you coming along for the ride with me. And we're going to take this ride no matter how bumpy it gets. I said buy the ticket, take the ride. Well, we will. And it may get bumpy, but we'll hang in there. And like I said always, we're on the right side of history. We just have to keep fighting. You don't lay down and die because your daughter's not going to, the soldiers in Ukraine aren't going to, Your friends and neighbors that are affected by this aren't going to. So we have to go right along with them.